That fancy address was 116 East 65th Street, between Park and Lexington Avenues. There sits a sprawling 5-story townhouse with 5 bedrooms, 6 baths, a finished basement, and 8 wood-burning fireplaces. Maxwell bought the property in the year 2000 for just under $5 million. By 2015, she was already feeling the heat from Virginia Giuffre's accusations against her and listed the property for sale that year in April. The property was sold the following year for $15 million.
I don't think she was home that night, but I met her the following morning.
Okay, so tell me what the first meeting was like.
Yeah, so that was the day after I came, and I was nervous. I mean, looking at the house, I realized that probably a powerful and a rich woman, and I have no idea who someone like that will behave. So I was on my best behavior, at least. And she sat by her office desk on the first floor. And I guess just said hello. And kind of the first thing she said, she asked me, do you have a passport? And I was like, is this a trick question? I was like, yes, I have a passport. And then she said, now you have 2 passports. And I was like, what does she mean? But play along, of course. I wanted to present myself well. And she told me, well, you have to register on my website, the Terramar Project, and you will get a second passport. It was just signing up for a newsletter. So for her project, the Terramar Project, which was trying to, I guess, save the ocean. That's right. What she... Yeah. So she was pushing that pretty hard.
That's kind of like an awful joke. Like, get your second passport by signing up for the newsletter.
Yeah.
Is that funny?
I have no clue. I don't know if they had a thing like a passport to...
passport to the healthy oceans.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was the idea. And I got those newsletters for quite a while before I unsubscribed.
So after, you had this initial meeting, what was the next step? What was the expectation?
Well, kind of the first assignment was to get her a coffee from Starbucks, and she always had the same coffee. I think it was like a skim milk latte. I think it was that because it sounds very familiar when I repeat it. And it was the same every morning. She wanted it by, I think, like 9 o'clock. So that was the first thing. Well, not that hard, but she wanted that. And of course, I mean, when you're in front of her, I think she come off as powerful. And with obviously all the money and connections, she has a confidence that is... well, I guess at that time I listened to her. So I don't know how far I would go, but at this time it was just bring her coffee, and I did. But then there was also walking one of her dogs. I said I had a lot of dog experience. I don't, or didn't have. But I mean, at that time, I would say that, of course, just to go to New York. So that was kind of frightening to have a big dog who I was to walk and control. So we walked to Central Park, took the dog for a walk, and brought him back, fed him. I would say that was kind of the main assignment, walking the dog and giving the dog food. And I think because there's been a lot of guys there before taking care of the dog, they all been doing it in different ways. So the dog was pretty hard to handle, especially for me. I hadn't done it before, but I learned. But honestly, first couple of weeks, that was it.
Walking the dog and getting coffee. So not rocket science.
Not at all. But for some reason...
blonde-haired, blue-eyed Swedish guy could have done the job.
Yes, I don't feel that special at all. Like you said, it doesn't take much like brain capacity to do what I did. But obviously she wanted things her way, and she always thought she had the right to do everything. Like I remember like buying her like just a loaf of bread, and I bought the wrong one in her eyes. And she was going to show me like, this is how you do it. So we walked back to the store. She took another loaf of bread and we just walked out, and she walked with really like powerful steps. And like, I have the power to do anything.
Wait, she didn't pay for the bread?
No, we just switched it out. I mean,
wait, it's that's really weird.
Yeah, just small things. But that showed her personality. She had the right to do everything. I really think so.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense given everything that, is out there about her now, and her power of persuasion, of convincing, in some cases, young girls to apparently, do some unsavory things. I guess she's a persuasive person. I think you sent me a message one time after you saw her on the news, and you characterized her as a scary lady.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, one time I did something that she didn't like somebody rang the doorbell and I opened for him, and he was going to he had a package and deliver a package, and there was some problem. I didn't know if he was at the right door, but I asked him to like come in, but there were two doors. So I let him in, and that was a huge mistake. Even though there was another door, she just like, who is this? And give me your ID. And then she took the delivery guy's ID, took a copy of it, and she was furious. She was like, when she told him to leave because he was at the wrong door, she was furious at me. She was like, that could have been anyone. That could have been someone who wanted to kill me or anything. Anything could have happened. And then she said, I'm thinking about like sending you home. I have to think about it and like sleep on it, and we'll see tomorrow. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh no, I did a huge mistake. I'm going to get sent home. And I've been there for like at least a month. So I was into the like Manhattan groove, and I liked it. Then we had a talk in the morning, and she was like, no, that was really stupid. But I will give you another chance. I was like, oh, thank you. So she definitely has that like evil thing. She makes small things into huge things. And she wanted me to feel bad, of course. So yeah, that was scary. That was like my scariest moment there.
So how much was this self-described socialite willing to pay for a Swedish live-in dog walker / coffee grabber at her multi-million-dollar New York City townhouse? Make your guesses now.
I would work Monday to Friday, get off at 5, and then just walk the dog Saturdays and Sundays. And for that, she would pay me $300 in cash every Friday. So that's not much to live on in Manhattan, but no, but I guess I got to live there too in a pretty big townhouse. But if you would to stay there and do good and come back, you would get more cash. You would get, I think, like 400 or 350, just a bump up. And then you would get more if you came back like a third time. So there was a system, most definitely, because but I only went once, so I only got the 300. And then the last day when I was there, I got a bonus, I think $600 in cash as well, because I did good.
Oh, so she had forgiven you for your previous transgressions and decided to give you a bonus. But how did you know that there was a system in place with the Swedish guys? How did you know that there were these like subsequent terms of employment? If you did a good job the first time, you could be invited back. How did you know that?
Well, I got told by the assistant. She told me, like, if you come back, and I think she told me when it was coming to an end, like, if you come back, you get this amount of money. And I knew there was one guy before me, and before him there was another one, and the assistant Dana, she talked openly about some of the guys, like they've been there for this amount of times, and they would make this amount of money because they've been there more times. So it just sounded like there was a system. The assistant talked openly about it.
So, and where were you staying when you were living in the 5-story townhouse on the Upper East Side?
Well, I think it was a six story. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Six story. The basement. But it's not as bad as it sounds, but it wasn't as fancy as the other, like, but
it was a nice basement, as basements go.
Yeah, sure. And it was large as well. So it had a kitchen and my own toilet. And I could close the door so I could, like, be by myself also. So, but I got to stay at a fancy address, and usually when I took a cab home, like, all the cab drivers said, like, "Whoa, this is a very, like, are your parents rich? This is a very, like, expensive address." So, but yeah, I got to stay there. But she had 2 doors to the townhouse, and I used the left door. Like, that wasn't the main door. That was like. Yeah, that wasn't the main door.
Service
the main
entrance.
Exactly. Never seen that before, but in as far as, like, apartments and townhouses go. But yeah, main door was, like, a huge one, of course. But I used the side door.
Did she tell you,
sometimes,
like, this is how did you get in? You didn't have a key.
And no code. Yeah, she told me use that door, but sometimes when I walked with her, like, in and out, I took the same door. She was like, you can just, like, walk with me. And I was like, whoa, moving up.
Yeah.